You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hi there, Bold fans. Well, Hope Logan is on the cusp of a huge letdown in life, and now the CBS soap is dropping more hints that Thomas Forrester might be back to pick up the pieces of her life. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I'll tell you about these recent hints pointing to Matthew Atkinson's comeback to B&B. And hey, please click subscribe if you are not following us. So, in case you lost count, it has been not quite a year, like 9 months since last July 2024 that Thomas was seen on Bold and the Beautiful. That was when he and Insta-fiancé Paris Buckingham and his son Douglas were in LA to reveal their engagement to the family and plan a wedding at the Forrester mansion, a wedding that never happened. And Diamond White, who plays Paris, has since moved on to new projects, but Matt Atkinson has it. That means if Thomas Forrester comes home, it should be without his bride-to-be. And if you recall, Hope asked Thomas last July to break up with Paris and be with her. That was, of course, after their split, after he proposed to Hope for a second time and asked her to move the ring from the necklace to her finger. And she told Thomas that she loves him, but she's not ready for marriage. So as Hope was crying after she said no to the proposal, Thomas walked out because he felt like he would never be enough for her and that Hope would never love him the way that he loved her. And of course, Steffi Forrester took advantage of his heartache over that refusal to, tell him, get your son, get Douglas, leave town, and had him do it that same day. And Thomas did what she suggested. And then he went and pretty much got engaged to Paris right away, which Steffi knew about, but didn't tell anybody in the family. She kept it a secret, so it would be a bombshell when Thomas arrived holding Paris's hand with a big old ring on it and her hugging Douglas and talking about their family. So at the time of Matt Atkinson's appearance in July 2024, we had just found out his wife, Brittany, was pregnant with their first child. They'd been married at that point, like 7-8 months. So this absence of Thomas's and the storyline of Carter and Hope's unlikely and instant romance might have been to cover up a requested leave of absence from Matt Atkinson for, going through this new marriage, the pregnancy, the paternity leave. So now, though, there are some signs we might be getting Thomas back in the aftermath of Hope's life blowing up in her face, with Carter, enraptured by Daphne, the Forresters about to get their company back, and Hope on the fast track to getting fired and losing her line again if Steffi and Ridge get their say, which they should. So here are these signs that Thomas could be back. A few days ago, B&B's official Instagram account had a little game. It was called Kiss, Marry, Destroy. And you had to pick which one that you would do which to. And it featured Thomas and Carter and Finn. For Carter, the caption was that he stole the company. For Finn, his caption was that he hooked up with his aunt. They did put adopted below that. Still funny though. And for Thomas, it was that he left the country after getting dumped and immediately got engaged. Now, I do want to correct whoever runs the Bold social media accounts, because Thomas did not get dumped. Far from it. What he got was his marriage proposal refused, but then Hope told him she loved him, wanted him to stay with her, begged for more time, and just to keep things going as they were. She did not dump him. As a matter of fact, it was Thomas who dumped Hope by walking away and moving to Europe with their son. So B&B posted that last week during a week of rerun episodes that also leaned heavily on Thomas and Hope. If you didn't watch, Beyond the Gates only used 30 minutes of its 60-minute standard time slot this past week because they were running these short introductory episodes about the sets, the costume, the cast. It was pretty cool. And then their second 30 minutes of their time slot, they filled up, CBS did, by airing some Encore episodes of B&B. And usually when they do these Encore episodes, they curate them very carefully to tie to current and upcoming storylines. These aren't random. They're not just pulling out files willy-nilly. There's a purpose. So I do suspect they handpick these episodes to give a little glimpse into future plots and plans for Bold and the Beautiful that have to do with what's coming for Hope. So during that week of Encore episodes, 4 of the 5 either mentioned Thomas or had significant name drops or him in them. So the episodes that aired February 18th through the 20th were all centered on the Rome stuff. They first had Thomas and Hope at the press conference, if you remember it, in Rome, as the reporters were asking them to look into each other's eyes, and they did. They were all smiles, basking in attention and their mutual success and admiration. And the next was more of the press conference with them flattering each other as Steffi glared. And that episode ended with Hope kissing Thomas passionately as a stunned Liam watched in horror because he had flown to Rome. Then the next episode was Liam telling Wyatt about seeing Hope kiss Thomas. And then we had scenes of Thomas and Hope on the private jet on the way back to LA. And she was asking Thomas to not say anything, to leave that kiss in Rome. Like, what happened in Rome stays in Rome. And that she was going home to her family, meaning Liam. Meanwhile, Steffi was snarky because she knew they kissed because, Liam had told her, and Hope was playing innocent. And then the last Encore episode that aired last week was a more recent one from right after the coup when Ridge was at Brooke's place and he was ranting about Hope going after Thomas and making him so crazy that he had to leave the country. That was the episode where Ridge walked out on Brooke and basically said he blamed Hope and he wasn't going to live on the same property as her, which infuriated Brooke. All in all, there's just a lot of Thomas activity lately in these Encore episodes and then on their social media. And we know Hope Logan is about to have some really bad things happen because of the significant role she played in stealing Forrester Creations from its rightful owners. So by the end of this week, Hope sees Carter kissing Daphne. And of course, he seems smitten. Plus, we know that she's sticking around. Daphne is. I would not be surprised if Carter and Daphne embark on a real and legit romance in the ashes of him and Hope falling apart because the actress that plays Daphne was part of the new cast photo. So I just don't think the two of them are a drive-by. And there's no way Ridge will forgive Carter for the coup if he is still with Hope. But if Carter ditches Hope, like Ridge told him to before, he can probably keep his job and revive his best friendship with Ridge. So if Hope loses her job, her line, and her boyfriend, I could see her calling Thomas to get a little comfort. And if things have cooled off between Paris and Thomas, then you never know, he might come running. But if this Carter and Hope ticking time bomb brings back Thomas, I'll be happy to see it explode. But what do you guys think?
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.